When I was introduced to the temperament theory, it really changed the way I looked at people. The temperament theory gave me kind of a foundation from which to understand people more effectively, to understand myself and to understand other people. I'm sitting in my home tonight and I'd just like to share a little bit about what it is. The temperament theory was thought of and came to light about maybe 2,000 years ago or so. It was Hippocrates who came up with this, and he came up with basically 4 temperaments, and he used Greek words to describe them: choleric, phlegmatic, sanguine, and one other's, forget the name of it right now. But let me just use an English equivalent. That would be a driver, an analytical, an amiable, and an expressive. Now, when I was introduced to this, it just opened my eyes to the strengths and weaknesses of the different temperaments. And one of the strengths of the different temperaments, a choleric, for example, he is, or she is, a very driven, oriented person, and they want to accomplish a lot in their life, and they're goal oriented, and they just really go for whatever it is that they want to accomplish in their life. That's one of the strengths, and we need cholerics. We need people that are going to just make things happen. But one of their weaknesses is they tend to be a little insensitive to the emotions and the feelings of other people, and how other people are feeling, and in their pursuit of their goal, they can actually hurt a lot of people along the way and not even realize it. And so that's one of the strengths and weaknesses of someone who is choleric or a driver. Then you have more of the amiable type of a personality. And the amiable type of a personality, these are the people that just like to get along. They want peace. They're able to just love just about anybody, to have patience for about anybody, and to treat anybody with respect. They do their very best to do that. One of the weaknesses, though, is that they can be overrun. They can be mistreated. They can be abused, and they can go through this period for a long period of time, and until they just hit their breaking point, and then there's no more patience, and they come out like a driver, and they might end up making decisions or doing things that are just not good for themselves or for their family if they're pushed too long into a corner, from abuse or whatever. And then you have verbal abuse or whatever. Then you have the expressive. Now, these are the type of people. These are the type of people that can talk to anybody. They have an ability to communicate. They love talking. They love communicating with people. They're natural communicators, and they're just wonderful people. That they're fun and everything. But one of the problems is that they can kind of get carried along with the emotion of a moment and maybe make some bad decisions. They can also, they're not very well organized, and so they can leave things here and leave things there or whatever. So that's, and then you get to the, let's see, we did the driver, the amiable, the expressive, and now the analytical. Now the analytical, they love to analyze things. They want to be right. They want to be perfect. They want to have the right answer. And these are the kinds of people that can build computers. They're the kind of people that build chips for computers. They're the kinds of people that will spend hours looking at a problem from many different perspectives. Now, one of their weaknesses is that they can be, in their desire to have the perfect answer or whatever, they can just stall and not really accomplish as much as a driver. And so a driver can sometimes get frustrated with an analytical because maybe the analytical isn't moving fast enough, but they want to make the right decision. So And then an analytical, they can get so busy with their work and focusing on their work that, whether they have people in their life or they don't have people in their life, it doesn't matter very much. I mean, they're the kind of people that can sit in an office year after year after year, stare at a computer screen, and it's no big deal. An expressive could not do that. So we have these different temperaments. So why, is this important? Why is it a good framework? For me, what it did for me is it helped me understand my wife a lot better. She is more of a driver, expressive, and I'm more of an analytical, amiable. We're opposites. One of the things that attracted me to her was her expressiveness, her ability to just make friends with anybody. I saw all these qualities that I did not possess, and I found it extremely attractive. And I have found in many marriages that opposites attract each other. They're attracted to the strengths of the other individual that they really admire, that they don't have. So you marry for the strengths, but then the weaknesses start to come out, and so you have to, it's good to know what those weaknesses are, so that you can be prepared for them, so that you understand them. So and another good thing about the temperaments is you're able to model your answers and your communication in a way that particular temperament can receive. And that's the whole point of this video, is like trying to discern the temperament that the other person is talking in, and understanding what they want and how they want that answer to be communicated to them. What is it that they want? A driver, for example, they want short answers. They want to get to the point. They don't want to dilly-dally about facts and all kinds. Just give me the bottom line. Now, analytical, they thrive on information. They want more information, as much information as they can in order to solve a problem. And if you get a bunch of analyticals together, they'll be talking back and forth trying to analyze a problem, and that would not be the strength of an expressive or strength of a driver. So now in sales, if you're going to communicate something to somebody, or you're going to give a presentation, and people start asking you questions about your presentations, in the very asking of the question, you may get a clue as to what type of temperament that they actually have, and thereby you can make your answer to fit that particular temperament and how they want the information. For if a person's an analytical and they start asking you specifics, give them the specifics. But if give them more details. But if they're a driver and they want the bottom line, don't waste your time giving a lot of details. Give them the bottom line, and that's it. So these are the kinds of things to keep in mind when you're doing a presentation, when you're communicating with your coworkers, when you're communicating with your spouse. And there is a book that I've read that I would suggest you take a look at, and that's Florence Littauer's book, Personality Plus. If you do a search on Florence Littauer, she will come up in Amazon.com, or just search for a Personality Plus. You'll get the exact spelling of her name right, and you can look from there. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that it gives you a new way, or at least introduces you to a new perspective on how to understand other people. I tell you, I always thought when I was growing up that people thought just like me. And if they thought just like me, what were they doing? Some of these people that I just didn't understand, what were they doing making the kinds of decisions they were making and getting themselves into all kinds of troubles, kind of flowing with the emotion and kind of making some real bad judgment calls? And I just couldn't figure it out. But when I found out about the temperaments, I began to understand not everybody thinks alike. Not everybody looks at the problem and analyzes it the same way. Not everybody, and it's not there's necessarily a right and wrong, it's just that we have all different temperaments. And most of the time, the temperaments of an individual, they're composed of two different temperaments. Like you have a main temperament and then a dominant temperament and a subdominant temperament. And those usually that's what it is. For example, I'm more of a analytical, amiable, and my wife is more of a driver, expressive. So that's I hope this helps, and I wish you the very best in your pursuit of learning more about the temperaments. God bless.